Thank you for joining us here on WCNC Charlotte. I'm Kaylin Hagwood, and we want to remind folks to be weather impact alert this morning as very strong storms move across our area. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich and Becca Birdsall tracking the storm.
Thanks, Kayla. Yeah, we do have a line of showers and storms moving in. The good news so far today that we have not seen these become severe yet, but we do have some cloud to ground lightning in here and some gusty winds. You see the leading edge of this. Watching this first batch, so the Doppler velocities show you where the strongest winds are. And some of this is actually just associated with something we call the low-level jets. So really strong winds pushing into the system. So heavy rain moving into western parts of York County, Chester County, all of Gaston County into Cleveland County right now. But there's a secondary line we're going to keep a close eye on. This could be the one that actually produces some severe storms as it pushes east. We're waiting to see if a new tornado watch is going to be issued in this area just east of the main line. Storm Prediction Center is monitoring that area for potentially a new tornado watch. You can actually see that secondary line trying to form back to the west. This is the area. You see it highlighted in orange here. There's an 80% chance we could see a new tornado watch issued for that area any minute now, and it could include parts of the Charlotte metro area. But we haven't seen severe storms per se yet. But Becca, we have seen a lot of wind, and we've even seen some issues in the mountains. Let's go over to the Weather Center and talk about those high winds, which are causing issues even outside of those thunderstorms.
That's right, Brad. And you know what? Winds have been the primary concern with this storm system as well. Max wind gusts just here in Charlotte have been close to about 40 miles per hour, and that's just out ahead of this system. Now, the max wind gusts up in the mountains, that is going to be the biggest story right now, as they are howling right now. Boone currently at 43 miles per hour. Just about 15 minutes ago, that was up to 52. Asheville currently at 53. Max wind gust for them has been close to about 60 miles per hour, which has definitely contributed to the over 50,000 customers currently without power, according to the Duke Energy map. Futurecast wind gusts only shows those winds blowing anywhere from 30 to over 40 miles per hour at times, especially as that main line of storms pushes off. Wind alerts, everybody is under a wind advisory from the mountains into the metro until about 2 p.m. for wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. This, combined with that heavy rainfall, is enough to down trees and down power lines. So make sure to have a plan in case we get a severe thunderstorm warning, and of course have multiple ways to get watches and warnings. Back to you, Kaylin.
All right, Becca, thanks. As the storm moves through today, you can play a big part in helping us tell the story. If it's safe to do so and you see any storm damage, you can take a picture or video, send it to us using the Near Me feature in our WCNC Charlotte mobile app. Be sure to tell us the location. You don't have to say your exact address, but the relative area helps us tell that story. Now, we do have crews all across our area watching those impacts for you, as the strong winds and loose soil that can actually make it easier for trees to fall. Our Jessie Pierre, she's joining us live now from the Mount Holly area. She's in our Chevy Storm Tracker this morning. Jessie, we're early on here, but what are you seeing in your area so far?
Good morning. Good morning. Like you mentioned, it is very early on. We are in Mount Holly, heading northwest, heading towards Stanley. As of right now, things are pretty smooth. You know, I'll just go ahead and put the camera on the roadway, and we are just starting to get some drizzling right now. Really light drizzle, rain starting right now. So again, you know, anytime you're dealing, especially when we have a storm like we're expecting, when you're dealing with winds and rain coming, you want to make sure to always take precaution on the road. You know, always those things you kind of remind yourself, you know, take it slow, give yourself extra time, make sure to, you know, leave enough space with other cars, just because you just never know what could happen when you're out on the road. Again, right now it's very early on. We just have a little bit of light rain, but again, the big concern today is really the high winds, right? And when you have really strong winds, you're worried about, you know, like you mentioned earlier and Brad mentioned earlier, you know, limbs falling down and things like that. So you want to be extra careful when you're driving on the road. So, you know, as we're starting right now, again, it's just very early on. It's very light, but, you know, as it gets later in the day and we have in the morning and we have a stronger storm, you just want to, again, just be extra cautious. Right now, there aren't really any too many cars on the road, so that's a good thing, but it's still pretty early in the day. But as folks begin their day, they want to make sure to keep that in mind. You know, just always be prepared, you know, especially if you're going to hit out the road. Kaylin?